Have you ever lived somewhere that looked perfect on the outside, but deep inside you knew something was wrong? A place where business was good. The streets were busy. The city was growing. But the hearts of the people were slowly becoming darker? That was the city I lived in. The city was called Sodom. And my name is Lot. I did not grow up there. I actually came from a family that followed God. My uncle was Abraham, a man who trusted God with everything. But somewhere along the way, I made a choice that looked wise at the time. But later, I realized it was dangerous. Years earlier, my uncle Abraham and I had grown very wealthy. Our animals were many, our servants were many, and the land could no longer hold us both. So Abraham said something very generous. Lot, choose where you want to live. If you go left, I will go right. If you go right, I will go left. I looked around, and what I saw looked amazing. The land near Sodom was green, rich, beautiful, like a garden. So I chose it. It looked like a blessing. But sometimes what looks like a blessing can slowly become a trap. At first, I lived near Sodom. Later, I lived inside Sodom. And before long, my whole life was there. My home, my work, my family, everything. One evening, as I sat near the city gate, I noticed two travelers entering the city. Something about them felt different, calm, quiet, serious. In Sodom, strangers were rarely safe, so I insisted they stay at my house. Please, I told them, come and spend the night under my roof. They agreed. We ate together. But before the night was over, something terrible happened. When the whole city turned dark, suddenly, men from all over the city surrounded my house. Young men, old men. The crowd kept growing. They shouted from outside my door. My heart sank, because in that moment, I realized just how far this city had fallen. But the strangers acted quickly. They pulled me back inside and shut the door. Then they did something only angels could do. Yes, angels. They struck the crowd with blindness so they could not even find the door. The men outside stumbled around in confusion. And that is when the visitors finally spoke the truth. They said to me, Lot, we have been sent by God. The outcry against this city is great. The Lord is about to destroy it. Destroy it. Not punish it. Not discipline it. Destroy it. The weight of those words fell heavily on me. My home, my neighbors, my city, gone. They told me to gather my family immediately. So I ran to warn my daughter's future husbands. Get up. I told them, leave this place. God is going to destroy the city. But they laughed. To them, it sounded like a joke. It wasn't. And that moment still hurts me to remember. Morning came. And I will be honest with you. I hesitated. Even knowing the city would be destroyed, part of me struggled. That is the strange thing about attachment. Even when something is bad for us, we sometimes hold on to it. But the angels showed mercy. They took my hand, my wife's hand, my daughter's hands, and they led us out of the city. 4 people walking out of a city that was about to disappear. Before leaving, they gave us one command. Run for your lives. Do not look back. Do not stop. We ran toward the hills as fast as we could. Behind us, God rained fire and burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah. The sky roared. The ground trembled. The cities burned. Everything we had known was ending. But we kept running, because sometimes obedience means moving forward without looking back. But during that escape, something heartbreaking happened. My wife stopped. Maybe she remembered our home. Maybe she remembered friends. Maybe she simply wanted one last look. She turned back. And in that moment, she became a pillar of salt. Just like that. One look back. One moment of hesitation. And she was gone. That memory has stayed with me every day since. My daughters and I eventually reached a small town called Zor. We were exhausted, broken, grateful. Behind us, smoke rose into the sky where Sodom once stood. And I understood something clearly that day. God's judgment is real, but so is His mercy. Because even though I had made mistakes, Even though I chose the wrong place to live, God still saved us, not because we deserved it, but because God remembered His promise to Abraham. If my life teaches anything, it is this: where you choose to plant your life matters. The places you move toward, the people you surround yourself with, the voices you listen to, they shape your future. And sometimes when God says leave, it may feel painful, but it may also be the very thing that saves your life. Before you go, if this story made you think, I'd love to hear from you. Which Bible story should we explore next? Should we hear from a Joseph in the prison of Egypt? Esther the night she risked her life before the king? Or Jonah running from God? Tell me in the comments. And until the next story, remember this: sometimes the most powerful step of faith is simply walking away and not looking back.